up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gunner Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it's Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show where I talk to you about rumors and news surrounding the Arsenal. Hope you guys are all well. Please do stick a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already as we carry on through the show. Now, obviously, I've pretty much had an enforced hiatus, if you like. Just because the last week or so I've just been coughing up a storm. I'm still not 100%, but let's say when you guys saw me, I was probably running on 12%. Now I'm on 70%. So I can speak to you for 30 seconds without coughing up a storm. For those wondering, don't have COVID-19. so got tested. That test is horrible, by the way. It's horrible. Oh, I feel like my brain itches. But yeah, I don't have COVID-19. So that's one thankful thing. But yeah, it is what it is. Just a cough. I just won't fuck off. I used to be asthmatic. They reckon that with the temperatures that have dropped, perhaps it has something to do with that. So for all those that have been asking and wondering if I'm okay, yes, I'm okay. I am back in action. We're going to try and muddle through these as much as possible. I'm still hoping I'll be able to do a membership stream tomorrow. I'm trying not to push my voice and my cough for too long. So if I don't do it tomorrow, I'll definitely do it on Sunday. Either way, it'll be done this week. So I'll see how I wake up tomorrow. But yeah, just to let you guys know who are members. Big up to all the members. I noticed you guys were watching the Cooking with Chig I did put out there with the wifey that I kind of got kicked off doing halfway through. So I put an episode of Cooking with Chig out there that seems to be well received. I still got another one in the can. So I'll put that out there shortly. But anyway, let's get on with this. I know lots of people have been asking me about all various different types of stuff that have happened over the course of the last 7 days. And I don't have pictures or anything to cope with all of them. But let's talk about some of it. Now, I know that Arsene Wenger's autobiography is either dropping or it's dropped or something. Anyway, loads of little quotes. He's been real active over the last week, talking about Arsenal, more about, people he should have signed, could have signed, little jabs at Stan here and there, little jabs at Arteta for not playing, Mesut Ozil. I'll come to Mesut Ozil in a second. So yeah, he's been real active. So usually when that happens, something is happening. And I noticed that there's been lots of talk about his book. As much as I've been skeptical about Arsene Wenger over the years, you best believe one book I will 100% get is that autobiography of his. I know for those people who are not huge fans of reading books, he is going to be doing the audio. I think it's going to be doing the audio version because sometimes authors, they have someone else doing the audio part of their books. And in his particular case, he'll be the one voicing the audio version part of his group. So good on him. Good on him. But I just feel like, for me, Arsene, just allow it. Allow it. And one thing I will commend him for, and I don't commend him often, is that he has largely stayed away from the club, stayed away from club business, doesn't really get himself too involved unless he's asked a direct question. The one thing I honestly don't think he's given enough credit for, that I will give him credit. Listen, I'm not his biggest fan, but I'll also tell you how it is. And I do like that aspect of him. They just tried to allow, when Emre came on board, he just tried to allow him to go on with it. When Arteta's come on board, yes, there have been more questions because this is a Wenger player, but he's just tried to let him get on with it. And I think in this particular case, he's obviously just tried to let Arteta get on with it. But I think in my personal opinion, I would just like him to just take a seat, man. Just relax. Just let Arteta go with it. But of course, I will 100% get the audio biography. 100%. It's one audio biography I'm very curious about. So we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to get the Arsene Wenger stuff out of the way. Let's talk about William Saliba. William Saliba is another one that I've heard a lot of. Hold on 1 second. I'm on mute or something. William Saliba is another one that I've heard a lot of from. That lots of people are telling me that, you know, what's your opinion on the William Saliba thing? Like, what's your opinion on it? It's mad, isn't it? I ain't gonna lie, this William Saliba thing sounds absolutely nuts. Big up to Isu, fellow Nigerian. We are suffering. I don't know if I should get on. I don't know if I should talk about that in this forum, but I'm with you, brother. I'm with you on that one. Thank you for your donation. The William Saliba thing is the one that makes not a lot of sense. This is a guy who, let's be real here. Lots of people were treating like he was the Jesus Christ of central defenders. Arteta comes on board, decides as far as he can see, he can't rate him. He doesn't rate him. Then we later on found out that he's had, you know, he's had a loss in his family, and the idea was, you know, would loan him back to France, even though we've paid 30 million for this guy, and so far we don't seem to be getting any sort of benefit out of him at all. But the idea was to loan him back to France, and, you know, between him being at France, he'll be around people that will allow him to get him back to his normal level. Then the window closed. He was like, well, bang goes that idea. But now you've not registered him for the Europa League, which would be games that he would ordinarily be looking to play. None of this whole William Saliba situation makes sense. I feel like it's been just handled in a shambles. At this point, you may as well let him go on. What else is he going to do? He may as well play somewhere than play nowhere. If he's that bad, you know, this is a guy who, against MK Dons, I thought he played pretty well. You could say he was a raw talent, but he made some key interceptions, really stood up strong, and I thought he played well. But I guess we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. It's all about sometimes how players settle in, how they are able to form relationships, especially with central defenders. Central defenders, generally, you want to know that all your central defenders are capable of playing with each other. Now, if William Saliba's coming in there and he's not playing to the level, and as laughable as this might sound, that he's not playing to the level of a Mustafi, he's not playing to the level of a David Luiz, then you do start to wonder. So I guess these are the questions that we must ask ourselves. What it means for us moving forward, I don't know. I don't know, because I like the player from what I've seen, but if at the end of the day he's ultimately not good enough, then perhaps we do need to kind of cut our losses and move on, as horrible as that sounds. If he's that bad, let's cut our losses and move on. You know? Don't get me wrong, probably be looking to do that next summer. I think the way you go about that this year would be to, I'd personally loan him from now. You know, if you've got a Brentford that might be, who are pretty good with looking after young players, loan him to Brentford. Loan him to Brentford and see how he goes, see how he adapts. You know, put in maybe a cheeky callback clause and just monitor him, see how he develops as the season moves on. But I just feel like that whole situation, it's just, again, another example of the way we make decisions at that club. It's so dodgy. We're such a dodgy club when it comes to transfers and development and making decisions. And that's, to me, it's just another example. But again, what do you guys think, I guess, is the point? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I actually saw an interview today, and I'm not talking about the Thomas Partey one, although I will obviously end with the Thomas Partey one. And that is the Mohamed Elneny one. I saw the Mohamed Elneny interview today, and I laughed my ass off. The guy, first of all, is, you know, I suppose you can only do what you can do. He went on loan, he played well. He's come back, And hell, I have to admit, he's played well. The thing that doesn't sit well with me personally is when I hear some shit like, oh, well, we didn't know to give it 100% before, but now we're giving it 100%. Hey, what do you mean? So what was Wenger saying to you then before? What was he saying to you before? What was Emery saying to you before? What are you talking about? So just things like that. And even in the flipping interview today, he was saying, oh, well, you know, I feel so loved and so I'm so highly regarded that every day I'm in training, I feel loved. And that way, that allows me to go and give 100% on the pitch. I ain't gonna lie, things like that piss me off. I hate hearing that. So essentially, we need to be sucking your dick every time a weekend comes around to make sure that you're going to give a halfway decent performance. You know, just things like that, please. I get it. You got to sometimes massage a player's ego in that. But it's just like, mate, relax. You're Mohamed Elneny, not Alexandra Pirlo. You know? Relax. About, you know, now that I feel loved, I now can give 100%. Why don't you give 100%? Then receive the love. You know, it's that whole 100% thing that, I'll be honest, has soured me towards Elneny. You know, sometimes you can forgive a player. If they're not good enough, they're not good enough. You can forgive a player for not being good enough. No problem. What have I always told you, though? See, this is why I have never will you see me on this channel shit on the likes of Abue, Gervinho. I'm trying to think of substandard players. Lushny. Even Gael Clichy to a certain degree, right? These are players that, on the whole, for one reason or another, fans laugh at. You'll never catch me doing that. You know why? Because at least, yes, they weren't good enough, but at least when they donned that shirt, they would give their 100. Carl Jenkinson, thank you, Ben. Another good example. They'd at least come on that pitch and they will give everything. Everything. The fuck am I shitting on that for? Because you're not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm jealous of you that you're able to go on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, who am I to say that you're not good enough? Just try. Just give 100%. And then at the end of the day, if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. Just give 100%. That's all I ask for. That's all I ask for. Instead of you grinning teeth, talking about the fact that, oh, well, I never knew I was loved before, so that's why I never gave my 100%. What do you want me to say to that? Fuck. So, yeah. I think, so about 5 minutes, I'm already on a rant. But it's just, again, I guess I'm hurt because Mohamed Elneny, I put in that category. I put in that category of, you never really see, I can guarantee it, you've never really seen me go off on Mohamed Elneny before. It's not happened. You know why it's not happened? Because I accept the brother's not good enough. But up until recently, I'd always assumed that at least the guy was given some kind of effort every time he stepped onto that pitch. And that he just was not good enough. He was not combative enough. He didn't read the game well enough. And then I remember watching the game with Lee. I said to Lee, what's going on? And he started laughing. He was just like, yeah, but keep in mind it's MK Dons. So I was like, all right, cool, yeah, it is MK Dons. And then the first game happened. This guy was playing well. I'm like, bruh, what is going on? Because I already knew from now that Mikel Arteta is now keeping this brother. But now you're wondering, so hold on. So if you were capable of this bullshit, what the fuck has happened in the last 5 years? So things like that just it don't sit well. It don't sit well because you just think to yourself, well, Mohamed Elneny, that can't just be coming from you. That's got to be someone else. There's got to be other people in the club that are probably doing this as well. There's got to be other people in the club. Namely, Mr. Mesut Ozil, who, again, I don't know why we do it to ourselves. Every single summer, we allow ourselves to become embroiled with the fact that we receive offers from Mr. Mesut Ozil. And the latest one was the fact that we received a £5 million bid. I know, like, I saw that, right? On that morning, I thought I was feeling better. So I read that story and I started bursting into a coughing fit. Again, I thought there ain't no fucking chance. This is a guy who is content, for whatever reason, to wait out his contracts. Now, I don't care if you're a Mesut Ozil fan or not. We can get into a debate all day long about whether he's good enough or not. You ain't come here for that. I ain't come here to say all that. But to me personally, if you care about working at all, if you care about working in your industry that you have passion for, supposedly, you would not be in this situation. You would not. Now, there'll be certain people that'll say, well, what are you trying to say? Is it his fault that Arsenal are not picking him? No, that's not what I've said to you. What I've said to you is that in this situation, you would not find it acceptable. You would find a solution, whether that is speaking to the manager, finding out what you need to do in order to get into the team, or presumably you've had 10 of those conversations and you still don't know what to do. So you would have left. Bottom line. Don't tell me this club have not at least tried to explore a situation whereby they've offered him 75% of his money to go. It is impossible. It is impossible, because even though some might say, well, why would they pay him 75? Let me tell you something. The club would much rather pay 75% of his wages to fuck off than 100% of his wages to play Fortnite. 100%. 25% is 25%. They'd rather save that. This guy don't seem to care. He don't seem to care. Because if it was me, I'd try and come up with a solution. Before people using Gareth Bale as the example of where other players have gotten, Gareth Bale has moved back to Tottenham. Yeah, he may have tried to hold Real Madrid up for a while, but he's moved back to Tottenham. Yeah, don't forget the fact that Real Madrid are paying most of his wages or what. The point I'm trying to make is they found a solution. They found a solution in order to allow him to leave that club. Are you telling me that Arsenal could not have found a solution whereby they said to Mesut, listen, Fenerbahce desperately needs you. Heck, Istanbul, who are the Turkish champions, want you. You can go to America. You can go to Abu Dhabi. You can go anywhere you like. Come to us with a proposal. We'll make it happen. You telling me the club ain't heard that conversation? Bullshit. This is why when the old man starts speaking shit about, how we're wasting Mesut, what do you actually want us to do with Mesut at this point? What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? Play him for you want us to play him for the simple reason that he won't leave? Oh, unbelievable. The Mesut Ozil situation is another one where I'm exhausted at talking about it, because I just don't know what else. I don't know what new slant to bring to it. This guy just clearly does not care. Out of principle, he clearly wants to just stay at the club for whatever reason. He's the sort of guy where I almost have this kind of Trump-like conspiracy with Ozil. And I know a lot of people will be like, oh no, what do you mean by that? No, there are a lot of people that believe that if Donald Trump loses this election, he ain't leaving that presidency. I'm starting to think that even come this time next year, somehow Mesut Ozil will still be at this club, because there'll be some sort of extra year or some kind of bullshit that Ivan has built into this contract that we don't yet know. It just feels like that type of stupid situation that we'd get ourselves into. Do you know? Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. People were asking me on the day that it happened, what do you think about the fact that he tried to, he offered Gunnersaurus a job? Isn't that nice? First and foremost, let me just say, I think it's very sad what happened to Gunnersaurus. You will never see me. I don't care to have a mascot. At the end of the day, somebody has to play that mascot. You'll never see me celebrate someone losing their job. What I have to say has nothing to do with that. The brother that plays Gunnersaurus, I hope the club honor their words, which is, listen, as soon as fans are back, he's back. Right? No problem. To me, I felt Mesut Ozil doing what he did was one of the most opportunistic bits of PR I have ever seen. 100%. That is not a man that was interested in helping Gunnersaurus. Mark my fucking words. Because what for all those people that are trying to say, oh, here we go. Let me ask you a question, genuinely. What do you think was then going to happen? Do you think that the club was just going to be like, oh, okay, well, since the Mesut Ozil's ready to pay his wages, I guess we'll stand back and let it happen? What did you think was going to happen? Like, did you think the club were going to be cool with Mesut Ozil making them look bad? I don't understand. When people are saying, oh, well, you know, why couldn't it just be a nice gesture? That weren't no nice gesture. That was an opportunistic bit of just straight up him trying to make the club look bad. Because there is no situation where the club does not look bad in that situation. Because one of two things happen. The club either ignore what Mesut Ozil said, which is exactly what they should have done, and I'm glad that they did it, or the way some people were acting as, or whether the club will even then step aside and then let Mesut pay the wages. If this guy was really about this life, and this is what I was arguing with people on Twitter, don't start talking to me about charities of what you do and don't do. I don't need to know what you do. I don't need to know that you saved 90 people today. I don't need to know that you saved 12 people in Nigeria. I don't need to know this stuff. If you are really selfless and about this charity life, you go ahead and you do it. And then if somebody legitimately catches you, fair enough. Don't tell me Mesut Ozil didn't know what he was doing, trying to make this gesture to Gunnersaurus in the hope that it wouldn't make the club look bad. Of course it made the club look bad. He knew what he was doing. The guy is very clever when it comes to this press thing. Very clever. Very clever. He knew what he was doing. If you're really about this charity thing, go and pay it. Don't say anything to anyone. Reach out to the brother and say, listen, I know what the club's intention is to do for you. I'm a senior player of this club. I earn X amount of money. Please, it would be my honor, my pleasure, whatever you have to say, to cover any costs, any bills, anything that you have between now and when we come back from the Premier League. And let's be real here, for Mesut Ozil, it is a drop in the ocean. It is a drop in the ocean. For a week, it would be a drop in the ocean. So you just say, oh, cool, I'll cover you, don't worry about it. Whatever you need, just let me know. Draw up what your bills look like. Whatever it is, let me know, I'll cover the costs. That I would have respected. And then if then Gunnersaurus then decides to report that on his end, that I would have respected. Don't be telling me that, oh, you made a gesture and, oh, it's not a PR thing. Bullshit. Bullshit. Anyway, it is what it is. What do you guys think about this weekend? I suppose that brings me on to Mr. Thomas Partey. Oh, and by the way, just a quick ready an announcement for you guys. So I've been talking to the Combat Show boys. I see Ola in the chat room already. One of the things that I've been banging on about is the fact that I do a combat show, which I talk about boxing and MMA. But one thing that people don't realize is we are also football fans. So the combat show will be taking over Gunner Eagle Eye for one show only, and that will be the preview for the Arsenal versus, or for the United versus Arsenal game on the 1st of November. So that one's going to be a big one because Will's the United fan, we're the Arsenal fans. I may even it out and see if Stell's available and bring on one more United fan as well. So that one is going to be a fireworks show. So make sure you guys don't miss it. It's going to be very, very enjoyable. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. So keep a lookout for that. It will be the last week of October that me, Ola, Will, and hopefully Stel are able to do that preview. So I'll reach out to Stel soon. So yeah, make sure you have a look out for that. I've just seen Ola in the chat, and it just reminded me. Big up to Mr. Gomez. Glad to see you're back. You sound much better. You're congested and nasally. I wasn't nasally. Very congested though. Wasn't nasally. But thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, just I still got the cough, but as you can tell, it's not nearly as bad as it was. I'm about 70%. I'm on my way back. Not quite there yet, but on my way back. But thank you. I thought to myself, it's international break. Let me just take this time to have a few days off the show. So yeah, thank you, brother. I appreciate you reaching out now. I appreciate that. So yes, so make sure you guys don't miss that out. Also, I did drop a couple of bits on Chig Flicks over the weekend. So go and make sure you subscribe to that channel. That is my movie and music review channel. I say music review channel because I did give my reviews on Chipmunk's Stormzy disses on Chig Flicks. So make sure you go check that out and see what you think. See if you agree. And obviously me, Ola, and Will will be back for the Combat Show on Friday as usual. Again, the link to the Combat Show is in the description below. Trust me, you will need to prepare yourself for the dynamic that is Will and Ola, especially ahead of the of our preview. So yes, make sure you do go check that out and subscribe to the channel. Okay, let's talk about Mr. Thomas Partey. This was I really wanted to do another video on this. When we signed him and illness struck and I was just fucked. But the good thing about doing the video today was that he managed to do his interview today. And as I told everybody, speaks perfect English. I think people were surprised by that. It's like, no, us West Africans learn English, like from the get. So we shouldn't be surprised. But the one thing that actually people mentioned in the comments of that interview, which I didn't really realize before, of course, he speaks perfect Spanish, doesn't he? So that would be useful for, say, playing with someone like Ceballos. But yeah, I mean, you could see he's very kind of like simple guy, probably a bit overawed with the attention that he's got. Seems to be very proud. I saw some of the loose quotes yesterday from his dad. I saw a couple of different quotes that kind of contradicted each other, because the one main quote that they were running with was the fact that supposedly he was looking for a bigger offer than Arsenal all summer, which, by the way, I think is bullshit, probably just taken out of context from what his dad said. And the other one was the fact that Thomas Partey was a bit hesitant about joining Arsenal, not because it's Arsenal, but because obviously he's leaving a Champions League football club for a non-Champions League football club. I think somewhere in the middle of it is the actual truth, and that is I can believe the last one a little bit more than the first one. From my understanding, and the reason why from the get-go, when this Partey thing came up, what was it, in April? I was always hopeful. But my question was also, would he really leave a Champions League football club for someone who isn't in the Champions League? That was the only thing I kept wondering myself. But what did I say to you guys from the get-go? You know, rightly or wrongly, that in Africa, Arsenal is still a big deal of a club. And when this story first came out, the dad was ecstatic that he was linked to Arsenal. So I don't know where all this nonsense is coming from. I will also say this, to be fair, Chelsea are also still a big deal in Africa, especially most recently, they're a big deal in Africa. United are a big deal in Africa, and as are Liverpool, they're a big deal in Africa. So I was always quietly confident. But like I said, I always felt like, would they leave a non-Champions League football club for... Sorry, would they leave a Champions League football club for a non-Champions League football club? That was all I kept thinking. That was all I kept thinking. But the more this story wouldn't go away, and no matter how much Mr. Expert Omar told me it wouldn't happen, yeah, Omar, I'll still bring you up. Still bring you up. As much as I told it would have happened, I refused to rule it out. And on the last day, we made it happen. And now, obviously, everybody's excited. I mean, you see everybody's timeline, party time, da-da-da-this, da-da-da-da. I think people were a little bit worried because Mali absolutely obliterated them last week. I think it was in African Nation qualifiers. They obliterated them. Let me tell you something. Mali are that kind of team. Very, very difficult. Ola in the chat will tell you. They are very, very, very difficult. They're a very, very good outfit. But when it comes to tournaments, for some reason, they underperform. That's just the way Mali are. But when they play other African units, they are about this life. They just are. They're about this life. So it wasn't a huge surprise that they ran over Ghana so bad. Plus, Ghana are kind of where Nigeria were 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. They're trying to refresh a lot of their older players. So they're still going through a bit of a transitional stage. Anyway, they got smacked. There's no way about it. And watching Partey, he weren't great. Ironically, I still thought he was the best player on that team. He's probably about a 5 out of 10, and he was probably the best player on that team. But it is what it is. I think the qualities he'll bring us is more indicative of what he did yesterday against Qatar. You know, he got himself 2 assists, but actually it was just the fact that he was a presence. He was everywhere. He was trying to make things happen. I do think that we're probably expecting too much from him. I'm hearing people thinking that we're title contenders because now we've got Partey. It's like, all right, easy. Relax. But one thing I have always said is that for me, I'm happy that we've signed our captain up to a new long-term contract. It seems like he's a bit of a doubt for the game, but we signed him up to a new long-term contract. We've seems to have got ourselves an absolute gem of a defender in Gabriel. Who knew? I did. And we've got ourselves a great midfielder who can defensively bring us a lot. Quite frankly, I think we've done well with our spine. Yeah, I'm still not convinced by our goalkeeper that much. But other than that, I think our spine is not bad. I think it's now just how we add to that, how we build to that, how we bring people into that. Can Pepe continue his confidence from Sheffield United? You know, can we figure out a role for Willian? Does it have to be a starting one? Do you know what I mean? Just little things like that. And I think once we do that, maybe we might be able to do something. But I'm not going to... For me, I just want us to win as many games as possible. You ain't going to see me talk about titles. I think it should definitely be their aim to win a title. I've always said that. If the man's aim is to win a title, it shows great. You ain't going to see me knock that. But, you know, fans, I don't know about all that. But I think from our perspective, let's just try and win as many games as possible. City's going to be difficult. Listen, this ain't going to be a preview. I'm going to save my preview until Thursday. But, you know, City is going to be difficult. You know, as much as people are saying that Kevin De Bruyne, if he indeed misses that game, I'm not convinced he will. I think people forget, you know, Aubameyang might be out that game as well, right? So what difference is it make? 1-for-1. It's like people are saying, oh, we're going to win because KDBs are out. It's like, you know, Aubameyang is a doubt for that game, right? You know, Kieran Tierney is likely to miss that game, right? Which, for the stupidest of reasons, is likely to miss the game. So I think let's just try and compete. And I think that was the title originally for this video. I don't think that signing Thomas Partey means that we beat Man City. But what signing Thomas Partey might do is just allow us to compete a bit better in that middle. You know, the Liverpool game, let's just be real here. I don't care what anyone wants to say about, oh, we were in the game until the 89th minute. Liverpool did not come out of gear 2 and they were running us over. They were running us over in every other department apart from the score. And the reason for that is because we had nothing in that middle. I don't think that Partey will start on Saturday, but I hope he does, because I think he's our best chance of retaining some kind of presence, some kind of control, some kind of competition in that middle, so that we're not completely ran over. You know, we need someone else to compete with Fernandinho. And I think if we can do that, we've beaten big teams before. Let's try again. So let's see what happens. I will do my full preview on that on Thursday. But I just wanted to drop you guys a little something. It's a bit of a slow news week, really, for Arsenal. Little tidbits here and there. I hope that Ronaldo recovers. I do. Genuinely, that's not a joke. I heard he's contracted COVID. I hope he recovers well. I know he's exposed for most of Portugal, so I hope Portugal are all right, because flip me. Wolves especially. Half of the Wolves team are Portuguese. So I mean, I laugh, but I hope they're all right. It's COVID thing, man. When are we going to see the end of it? Anyway, I hope you guys are all well. Please do stick a like on this video. Please do stick a like on this video. It does help. I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people recently, and lots of little changes are going to happen with regards to the show. So I hope that you guys keep an eye on it, and just hopefully accept it for what it is. And you guys will continue to enjoy it. The membership debates will continue going throughout all season. So stay tuned to that. Adding little competition ideas for the members as well. So again, keep an eye out for all that. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Chig Flicks, keep an eye out on that. So go subscribe. 226 subscribers on that, which is great. Let's keep those numbers going through the roof, because I'm going to start recording some stuff for that tonight. So keep an eye out on that as well. And I think that's pretty much it from me. So I'm out of here, guys. Take care. Enjoy your evening. I may be back tomorrow, but I'll definitely be back on Thursday. And yeah, I'm out of it. Peace.